Paul here from My Perfect Failure, helping you turn your failures into successes and your setbacks into opportunities. What if the key to building a $32 million empire wasn't motivation, but telling yourself I suck? On this episode of My Perfect Failure, I sit down with Dan Henry, a self-made entrepreneur who has not only mastered the art of making money online, but has redefined what it takes to succeed in life and business. Dan shares why discipline trumps motivation, how to transform challenges into opportunities, and the framework that has helped him achieve product market fit. Plus, he breaks down the counterintuitive strategies that have helped his businesses earn 1 million in a single day, not once, but on 3 occasions. This conversation is packed with actionable insights that had me rethinking about my own approach to discipline and success. I'm positive it will do the same for you. So ready to unlock the surprising secrets to success and fulfillment? Tune in now to hear Dan Henry's inspiring story.
Who knows what Jay-Z, J.K. Rowling, Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey all have in common? Okay, I will tell you then. They have all overcome failure in one shape or form to go on to gain success in their respective careers. Welcome to My Perfect Failure. Join us as we delve into the world of our perfect failures. We will interview, explore, and discuss how our perfect failures can lead us to success. Join us and tune in.
Welcome everybody to another episode of My Perfect Failure. Today, I'm super excited because I've got a wonderful guest for you today. So my guest today believes that the system is rigged against the average person. He believes the only way to beat the system is through entrepreneurship. After saving enough money from delivering pizza, he started buying and flipping businesses. As things were looking up, he made bad investments and lost it all. To make matters worse, he was sued by the IRS for 250 grand. Wow. Today, he is the founder of Get Clients and the Wall Street Journal best-selling author of Digital Millionaire Secrets. His accolades include winning the $1 Million Day Awards. So a very warm welcome to My Perfect Failure, Dan Henry. How are you, Dan?
Hey man, how you doing? I'm glad to be here.
I'm excited to have you here, really excited to have you here. I feel like I know you because I've been absorbing your content, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be emails, whether it be some of your interviews you've done. So there's so much wonderful content. So we're going to put links on the show notes. I definitely encourage everybody that is looking to pursue entrepreneurship, whether it's, totally on your own or whether you're on a business, but you think and actually want to earn some side money. Dan is your guy for that. But Dan, your journey is remarkable. I've written down some words here because these are words that I thought of when I think of you. I think of somebody that's got drive. I think of somebody that's resilient. I think of somebody that is a problem solver. I think of somebody that has got the ability to overcome any number of obstacles, because when I think about your journey, there's been any number of obstacles that can pretty much paralyze people. This Problem's My Perfect Failure is about the idea that there are opportunities in difficult moments, but it takes a certain skill set, mindset to be able to look into the challenges and overcome them. I don't think everybody has that skill set. I feel that you really honed that.
I would say that the reason you're saying all those nice things about me, about being driven, about being able to solve problems and overcome challenges, are because I personally think that I'm not very good at those things.
Really?
Yes, it's
Wow.
very funny because when I wake up in the morning, I don't think to myself, man, you have great time management skills. Dan, you can overcome any challenge. Dan, you're so good at this. You're so driven. I think, oh, man, I'm wasting so much time. My time management sucks. I'm not that driven. I need to have bigger goals. Like, I learned a long time ago that the people who are hard workers because they think they're lazy. That's what makes them a hard worker. The people that are lazy are the people that think they're hard workers. That's what makes them lazy. And so I've never really tried to tell myself, oh, you're so good at this or you're so good at that. And maybe this just works for me, but I do far better when I tell myself I suck than when I tell myself I'm good.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's interesting because I was thinking actually, as you're saying that, I think if we flatter ourselves, potentially that can breed complacency.
You know, flattering yourself and having self-confidence is not a this or that thing. You have to have both. It's like two ingredients in a pie. Because if I sit there and I always tell myself, you're the best, well, then I'm never going to try to improve and I'm going to get overconfident and I'm going to not put out great results. But if I tell myself I suck and I only tell myself I suck, then I'm never going to actually take action and do the thing because I'm going to think I suck and it's just not going to work and I'm going to get depressed. However, if I mix the two, then I'm going to have a period where I vastly improve and then I'm going to be like, man, wait a minute, I really am good at this stuff. I need to launch this thing. I need to do this thing. I need to put myself out there and do this thing again. I'll just tell you a funny story. I recently took several trips. One was to Saudi Arabia, one was to Pakistan. And we have a presentation that a sales presentation that runs on autopilot, and it sells a software that we have. And it does really good numbers, 6 figures a month, just from my Instagram when I post Instagram reels. Well over $100,000 a month in sales just from me talking about it on Instagram. Now,
Wow.
right. But here's the thing. I went to Saudi Arabia, then I went to Pakistan. Now, while I was on vacation, well, I wasn't really on vacation, but while I was, traveling, I didn't post anywhere near the amount of reels that I post. And usually it's not anything fancy. It's me taking my phone and just, hey, here's a thought, right? But I was busy. So I get back and I look at our sales numbers, and we had probably the worst sales week that we've had in a long time. And I start saying to myself, man, maybe this sales presentation isn't that good. Maybe it sucks, right? Maybe it's just not converting anymore, or maybe the market's changing, or maybe I've lost my touch, or maybe the market isn't there. And I start coming up with all these reasons. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I got to come up with a new offer. Oh my gosh, I got to come up with a new business. All these horrible thoughts. And they're the same horrible thoughts I had when I wasn't making any money when I was first starting in this industry. And it's $32 million in sales later, I think that's a lot for an online business.
Which is incredible, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. I still have those same thoughts. You see, people think that the thoughts go away and that's what makes you a millionaire. No, the thoughts are still there. The same thoughts are still there. You just reacted them differently. And so, I come back and I'm freaking out, and then I'm like, wait a minute, let me just post some reels. So I post 2 reels in a day, and we immediately did $5,000 in sales that day just from those 2 reels, and then another $3,000 the next morning from the same reels, just more views. And I say to myself, okay, so all that stress you put yourself through was BS. You just didn't post enough.
Yeah.
And my COO says to me, he's like, oh, imagine that. The more you post, the more money you make.
Yeah.
He's like, so what you're telling me is when you post, you make money. And I'm like, yeah. So you see, even at the level that I'm at, you still I go through the same stuff that the beginner goes through. And then I come to the same stupid realization, like, oh, dude, you're just not posting enough, right? And so these are the things that you deal with in the entrepreneurial journey, and they will never go away. What changes is how you react to those things.
Yeah, that's fascinating. As you're saying that, I'm thinking about, obviously, I definitely want to get into your story, how it originated and how you got to where you are now. Because I think for people that don't know you, I think they should know that, because it provides wonderful content, and it will give them a steer on if they're maybe starting at base camp, what's required to get an advance. But what I was thinking about is what you just said, actually. So just in terms of, you've started at Pizza Hut, scaled the business to 30 million. I think if Pizza Hut don't know this, I think that is a wonderful brand campaign for them, ad campaign for them. I think that would do wonderful for their pizzas that people can, you know, you can.
I'm not giving them any credit.
Okay.
That's not what, I didn't learn any skills there to
They
help
would
me
grab
make
it.
$30 million.
Yeah, exactly. They would love the credit. I was just thinking about the fact that you still have the same desires and the same, I don't know, thoughts that, well, maybe I'm not doing enough. Why isn't it working? Even though you're doing incredibly well, that you still have that drive, that curiosity, you know, those nagging questions, you know, if there's a little dip, why is it there? I was just thinking, people that I'm sure in your peer group, there are people that are similarly are successful. Do they still maintain that same level of motivation? The reason I asked the question, because I definitely think, and I don't know this, I definitely think that sometimes when you do achieve a certain level of wealth, a certain level of success, potentially we can maybe drop the ball a little bit in terms of our motivation.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's a secret to becoming a millionaire that most people simply either don't know or don't want to accept. And that is this. In the beginning, when you're on the come up, you think you need motivation. And you do. You do need to get motivated to take action. You need to strike when the iron is hot, when you have an idea and you feel emotion and you feel it, and it's really important to you at that moment. You need to take action, yada, yada, yada. But as you go up in the business and you go from, well, I want to make 10 grand a month to 100 grand a month to now $1 million a month, you know, and all the way up, you realize that at the higher levels, you don't need motivation. Motivation doesn't even really come into play. In fact, if you require motivation, you will not make a lot of money, because the thing that makes you a lot of money is not motivation, it's discipline. Discipline is the ability to take an action with or without motivation. So think about it like going to the gym. If you only went to the gym when you felt like it, you'd barely ever go to the gym. Okay? I spent years trying to get my body in shape, and I couldn't because I only went to the gym when I felt like it. It was until I realized that, wait a minute, I don't need more motivation. I need discipline, because if I have discipline, I will go to the gym whether I feel like it or not. And that is when my body completely changed. Just last night, I had some calls. I took my son somewhere. My mother's visiting here in Dubai from America. Costa Rica. She lives in Costa Rica now. And the day just ran super late. I still needed to do my cardio. I don't miss my cardio every day. I just don't, because I have discipline. So I got on my bike at 10:30 at night when I should be in bed, and I hopped on and I went around for an hour, and I got my hour of cycling in at 10:30 at night. Why? It's not, and this is the key, right? It's not because, oh yeah, well, you could have done it tomorrow. Maybe you could have done a double session tomorrow. You know what? You're tired. It's going to affect your sleep. You know, blah, 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 excuse. It's because, oh, Dan, you're already pretty lean. You don't need to, yeah, you can miss one. No, no, no. It's because if I let myself miss it, it's not about how much leaner I would have been or any of that. It's about the fact that I let myself down up here. I gave myself an excuse. And if I gave myself an excuse to miss that cardio session, well, now that is going to spread like a cancer, like a virus, like a disease across my brain, because you do some things like you do everything. And next thing you know, well,
Love that.
you could have filmed that extra reel, but you didn't. Well, you could have had that call with your sales rep to get his conversion rate higher, but you didn't. You figured he'll be fine. Well, you could have done that interview. Well, this, well, that. And next thing you know, this virus has spread, and now you're not doing a ton of things that you should be doing because you let a crack form in your globe of discipline, and now the whole thing starts crumbling. You can't let a crack. You need to say, here's what I'm going to do, and you need to do it. Because think about it this way. If you had a friend and that friend constantly told you they were going to do something, and here and there they didn't do it, and they didn't keep their word, would you trust that friend for very long?
No.
No, you wouldn't. Well, guess what? Who is your best friend? Who is the person you spend the most time with? Yourself. So if you make promises to yourself and you break them, now you're going to begin to not trust yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, you're going to have a horrible relationship with yourself. And if you have a horrible relationship with yourself, like anybody, you are not going to achieve great things with that person. If you have a horrible relationship with your wife, you're not going to achieve a great marriage, great things with your wife. If you have a horrible relationship with your business partner, you're not going to achieve great things with them. If you have a horrible relationship with your friends, you're not going to achieve great things with them. If you have a horrible relationship with yourself, you will not achieve great things on your own. Period. So you must always keep your promises to yourself, whether you feel like it or not, whether you have motivation or not, and that is called discipline.
Yeah, that's crystallized wonderfully well. And I think it's very easy for the cracks to seep in. And once the cracks have seeped in, and I think the challenge is we don't even realize it when the cracks have creeped in. We just stop doing ththings. And then all of a sudden, it's like, well, Paul, what, your gym routine that you said you were going to do at Christmas, what, okay, I've just flaked on that. So we've mentioned about Pizza Hut and the start of your journey, but your journey was laden with obstacles. So for people that don't know Dan Henry, it'd be lovely to maybe just to capture how you started and why the internet, because I know the internet, lots of people, everybody knows the internet. I definitely feel that people don't know how to use the internet to their advantage from an entrepreneurial perspective.
Yeah, so the thing about the internet is that what is the internet? It is a screen that you look at. And when you look at the screen asks you to do things, and you either do them or you don't. Think about that, right? You're scrolling on Instagram, you see a reel, and basically what is your screen doing? It's asking you to watch the reel, and you make a decision. Oh, I'll watch the reel or I'll swipe to the next. You get an email, you see a subject line. What is that subject line asking you to do? It's asking you to read the email. You can choose to read the email or you can skip it, delete it, whatever. You see a sales page for a product. Maybe it's a beauty product. Maybe it's a book. Maybe it's a pill, whatever. The sales page asks you to buy it. You do it or you don't. And so what the internet is simply a screen that constantly asks you to do things, and you either do them or you don't. Can we agree that's a pretty good definition?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have a product to sell or a service to sell, and you master the art of asking people on the screen to buy the thing, and you're good at getting more people or enough people to say yes, you become a millionaire. Like you don't complicate it further than that, right? That's what you're doing. And so when I got started, I realized that, and I'll just tell you the quick kind of backstory, is I was always into entrepreneurship, but what most people don't know this about me, I owned several regular real world businesses before I ever got into the internet. And this included, I had a cotton candy stand, I had an airbrush tattoo business where I went to carnivals and I had a booth, I had an Italian ice cart, did a lot of like vending, carnival event vending. I had 2 restaurants, okay? I mean, I had several businesses, okay? And so what would happen is I learned things like sales, I learned things like marketing, and I learned how to get customers for these businesses. But at the time, because I was young, I wasn't very good at the actual business part, paying taxes, accounting, bookkeeping, money management. I wasn't good at any of this stuff. And so what would happen is I'd make money with the business, and then the business would kind of crumble because I wasn't really good at it, right? I was good at getting customers, I just wasn't good at everything else. And so I built up this bar and restaurant. I sold it for a $300,000 profit, and when I got the money, I made an investment, and that investment went bad. And so now here I am broke. I have a brand new wife. My wife's from Turkey, and we're sitting here, we have no income, brand new marriage, we're barely keeping the lights on. I had a t-shirt company at the time that I did on the side. So I would get a $500 order for t-shirts, and that would basically feed us for the next, month, ramen noodles. And so my wife says to me, she's like, you're really good at this whole like getting customers thing, right? Why don't you like just do that for other businesses and just charge them a fee, and then you don't have to worry about like running a business. You're just doing the part that you're good at, that you've learned, that you've studied. And so that's what I did. I started a marketing agency, and within a month, I was making great money. Within a few months, I was making like 25 grand a month. And all I was doing, was I was going to businesses and I was creating marketing for them, creating the screen that asked them to buy, right? And getting them more customers. And I was charging a monthly fee for that. I had real estate agents that I was charging a couple grand a month. I had doctors and chiropractors that I was charging a couple grand a month. And you have 10 clients at a couple grand a month, that's 20 grand a month. And so eventually I started realizing that I really loved this. I really loved the art of knowing exactly what to say to get people to buy. And so I started expanding my products and services. I did copywriting events, I did seminars, I did all kinds of stuff. And then it just blew up. And our first year in business, we did 2.9 million. Since I've started my company, I've done 32 million. And I've even on 3 separate occasions made $1 million in a day by holding an event, speaking at the event. We call this one-to-many selling, and making a pitch for an offer and doing over $1 million in sales in a day. I've done that 3 times. And so this wild ride all came down to one very simple thing: knowing what to say. Because if you think about it, and for me to make this a very simplistic analogy, imagine for a moment that you were walking down the street, right? And have you ever had lemonade? You ever had lemonade?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're walking down the street. I don't have lemonade. It's too much sugar. But you're walking down the street and you got the first lemonade stand and the second lemonade stand. Now, let's just say for a moment that the first lemonade stand says freshly squeezed lemonade, and the second lemonade stand says yellow water with sugar. Which lemonade do you buy? 1 or 2?
1.
1. Okay, but hold on. It's the same lemonade. They got it from the same supplier. Why would you buy 1 instead of 2? It's the same product.
I guess the description, the way that you described it.
Exactly. You chose number 1, not because they had a better product, not because of any reason other than one reason and one reason only. They chose better words to describe their product. And the truth of the matter is, people don't buy good products. They buy good sounding products. Mm-hmm. How many times have you bought a product that sounded good and it wasn't that good, but it sounded great? And how many times have you bought a product that you bought it, you thought you'd try it out, it didn't sound great. Oh, it ended up being pretty darn good. And then there's times, which I believe the best business is when you have a good product and you make it sound good. And that's the problem. Most business owners, they do have good products. They just don't know how to make them sound good. And so not very many people get to experience their products and how good they are. And so that's why they will either learn marketing or they will hire a marketer to make what they do sound good. And when you're just getting started, I always recommend become a marketer. Why? Because if you become a marketer, you get to learn how to make products sound good, which means down the line, if you ever start your own product, your own offer, then you know how to make it sound good because you've just spent time making money helping a variety of other businesses make their products sound good. And what's really interesting about today is that when I got started, I actually had to learn copywriting, marketing. I had to learn this stuff. I had to read dozens and dozens of books. I had to practice, but now because it's 2024, 2025, we have artificial intelligence, we have AI. And if you know how to use AI, you can actually get AI to write better marketing than somebody who is a beginner who has studied marketing for 6 to 12 months. Heck, you can even get it to produce better marketing than a professional marketer because the stuff's just getting so advanced. And so I didn't even have the advantage that most people have today. They can supercharge and super fast track their journey with AI. I didn't have that. I had to literally write every single line of copy that made me money by hand. Imagine that. And I still made $32 million. So if that is not a testament to, if I can do it, you can do it, I don't know what is.
And as you're saying that, the word you referenced earlier, discipline, that must have come into play, having to write every piece of copy.
Yes, because see, that's the thing is, you know, I forget who said it, but there's a saying that hard times create strong men, and strong men create easy times, and easy times create weak men, and then weak men create hard times, and the cycle continues, right? And so I developed discipline in a time when this stuff was super hard. Now it's actually like really easy to make money online. And so I believe that a lot of people lack the discipline to do it, even though it's 100 times, I'm going to tell you this, it's 100 times easier to make money online than when I started. If I got started today, oh my God, I would have made money so much faster. There's so much more opportunity. There's so much more tools available. I got started in 2009. Okay. And so here's what I can tell you. Life is hard. There's no question about it. Life is hard, but the harder you are on yourself, the easier life becomes. Yeah, so you can choose your life to be hard, or you can choose to be hard on yourself. You can wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. You can get stuff done before all your friends who sleep in are going to start texting you and annoying you and distracting you. You can go to the gym, even if you don't feel like it, and build a healthier body, a healthier mind. You can read that book that you could have watched Netflix instead, but you decided to read the book instead. Learn a new skill. You can learn new things every day. You can work on your communication skills every day. And you can be hard on yourself. And then, like magic, life becomes easy. But if you Netflix and chill, and you don't go to the gym, and you don't read books, and you're not hard on yourself, life becomes hard.
Yeah.
Choose your hard.
Yeah. And what's interesting about what I'm capturing from this discussion is everything is linked. You know, the gym, being disciplined with the gym,
yes,
being disciplined with work, being disciplined with your family. Every piece of the jigsaw is yes. there for a reason. If we flake out on one, the disease will creep into everything else.
Yeah. And it's continuous learning. Okay. I lost my wife years ago. We got divorced because I got too busy with my business. I worked my butt off over 5 years to improve myself as a man, and earn my way back into getting my wife back. And 5 years later, my wife agreed to remarry me. And now I see my son every day, and now I have a beautiful family, whereas before I was alone and saw my kid on the weekends. And it took a lot of work to get there. And even today, right here on my desk is a book I recently got, and I don't even know who this author is. I just bought it to see if I could pick up some golden nuggets from it. It's called the Conflict Resolution Playbook. And if this helps me save one argument a month, to diffuse one argument a month with my wife, that improves my marriage. So I could watch the latest episode of Who Gives a Crap on Netflix, or I could take time and read a book. And then I could grab this book that's next for me, and I could read this book, and I could learn some stuff from Elon Musk. And then I could grab this book right here, and I could read some golden nuggets from Jeff Bezos. And then I could grab this book here, Noah Kagan, $1 Million Weekend. I'm sure I can grab some stuff from this. The thing is, poor people, they have big TVs. Rich people, they have big libraries. Okay?
I love that. I love that analogy. I haven't heard that. But like that. But it's,
I didn't make that up. I heard that from somebody, somebody famous, and I wish I remembered who it was so I could properly give them credit. But whoever it was, they said it. But I repeat it because it's so good.
so there's people watching this that are getting rid of their TVs today. I
Well,
don't
listen,
want that.
here's the
Who
beautiful
bought that
part.
big TV?
I have a huge TV. I have multiple huge TVs because here's the best part. When you have a big library, you're able to get so rich that you can get the big TV anyway and watch it once every 2 months. So there's that. I listen, I do like some Stranger Things, don't get me wrong. And I like sitting down with my family and watching something and having a movie night. So there is something to be said for that, but you shouldn't be sitting there all freaking day watching TV or watching TV every night. It's going to rot your brain.
You know what? I have to admit, I've part of my life where I did that, where I watched. I remember I'd come home from work and I'd just flake out and watch like really bad TV, and I wish I could get that time back. I can't get that time back.
Can't get it back.
I can't get that back. And the TV was just insanely poor. It's TV that I would, you know, it's just a different person now, but. I guess people can learn from my lessons. You can't get the time back. So if you're watching TV, deep down,
you know what I believe? I believe in mental exercises. Millionaires always do thought experiments in their head. So do you want to, you mentioned time. Do you want to know a little thought experiment that can really help you have perspective on this? If I offered to wire you $1 million right now, no questions asked, you don't have to give me anything. Hey, I'm just going to wire you $1 million. Would you take it?
100%.
100%. But what if I said, you can't wake up tomorrow? Would you take it?
No.
No, of course not. But what if it was 10 million? Would you take it?
No.
What if it was 100 million? Would you take it?
No.
What if it was $1 billion? Would you take it?
No.
So no matter how much I increase the money, the answer is still no. And you know what that proves? It proves that time is infinitely more valuable than money, because what was I asking you for? Time. I was asking for the rest of the time you have on the planet, which is maybe whatever, 30, 40 years, hopefully 50 maybe. And
fingers crossed.
But I'm giving you 100, a trillion, billion, 10 trillion, bazillion, bagillion dollars. You still say no because I took all your time. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. You see, poor people, they trade their time for money. Rich people trade their money for time, which is why they're rich, because they keep getting back the thing that is more valuable. You have more time, you have the ability to make more money. And so that's how you have to think. Look, you can't, everybody wants to have, agree or disagree, everybody wants to have more money. Yes?
Agree. Agreed.
Generally, everybody wants to have a better body. Yes?
Agree.
And generally, everybody wants to be happier or have a better relationship. Yes?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. People who make the money they want to make, have the body they want, and are happy, that's 1% of people. 99% of people don't make the money they want to make, they don't have the body they want to have, and they don't have the relationship or the happiness they want. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. So but here's the crazy part. 99% of people want what the 1% has. But if you want what the 1% has, you cannot think and behave like the 99%.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I guess, again, we're going back to discipline, we're going back to good habits. And I think the thing that's interesting about this, that we all have, because it's not like discipline doesn't cost a penny.
No, it doesn't.
And good habits don't cost a penny either. But actually developing and, I guess, pivoting to actually having good habits, it's not easy.
You want to know what's interesting? Discipline does cost something. It costs comfort. And here's what I mean by that. It is not comfortable to pick up a book and read it instead of watching TV. It is way more comfortable to watch TV, agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're actually trading for the discipline is comfort. You're saying, I'm going to give up a little bit of comfort now to get, or you're saying, I'm going to I want this little bit of comfort now. So I'm going to take it instead of having discipline. But here's the crazy part. When you have discipline, you get a massively larger amount of comfort later. So a few years ago, my business was doing fantastic. I was buying real estate. I had just crazy excess. Like, businesses and the economy, they have seasons. They go up and they go down. And thankfully, I thank God, mine for my entire career, for the most part, has been up. But there has been times where it's been way up, just stupid money. And one time I bought a $2 million yacht cash. And I don't say this to brag because honestly, it wasn't a great investment. I ended up selling it and putting it in real estate later. But the point is, I had so much excess that I bought a $2 million yacht. And let me tell you something. Getting on your own yacht with a full-time crew, with a chef, going from Miami to the Exuma, Bahamas, anchoring in the Exumas where there's crystal clear water where you can see 20 feet down, clear as day, and having your own personal private chef make you a meal as you sit out on the bow and enjoy. That is an extreme level of comfort. But the only reason I was able to achieve that extreme level of comfort is because I gave up the small comfort and I replaced it with discipline. And that discipline was able to bear incredible fruit. The side note is that eventually you get a little bored with it and you're like, whatever. I should just invest this in real estate. I don't need all this. You do it and you're like, all right, whatever. But the point is, maybe for you, it's not the yacht. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a plane, a car, a house, an investment portfolio, living in multiple countries, traveling the world without living anywhere, maybe full-time travel, whatever it is, it costs money. And if you're willing to increase your discipline, you will increase massively your comfort later. But if you take the small amount of comfort now, you give up the discipline, which means you give up the massive amount of comfort later.
Yeah, definitely. That's a fascinating story, but it does set the scene how important it is to develop that ability to be disciplined, because the rewards, the freedom that you get access to, you can't get with the opposite.
Yeah. And, it's funny because here's a recurring theme in life where people struggle to get rich. They're always unwilling to give up the small thing to get the big thing. I remember when I delivered pizza, my goal, now listen carefully to this, my goal was to make $500 a week. I thought if I could make $500 a week, my life would be pretty good. And so I built up $500 a week to be a lot of money. And so what actions did I take? Well, I took all the actions that would lead me to make $500 a week. I asked for extra shifts at Pizza Hut. I tried to get the day shifts where the schools would do $1,000 pizza order and I'd get a $100 tip. I tried to make friends with my customers so they would give me bigger tips over time. I tried to figure out better routes to take to make deliveries faster. I tried to get better shifts. I put all this time and energy into trying to achieve that goal of $500 a week. So do you know how much I made at maximum? Do you know the most I made during that time? Do you know how much it was?
No.
$500 a week. Okay?
You gave me the clue.
Right. Because I set my goal at $500 a week. I didn't set it at 500,000. I didn't set it at 5 million because see, if I set it at 5 million, what would I do? I would grab book. Instead of worrying about what route I take to make another $50 that week, I would grab a book written by a billionaire and read it. I would develop self-discipline. I would learn skills that solve bigger problems than making somebody go from hungry to not hungry with a greasy pizza. I would take the time to learn the things and do the things and cultivate the things I needed to do to make 5 million, not 500 a week. And that's the thing. When you view your goal, when you build up in your mind, oh, this amount, it's so big, then you think it's big. And so you only take the actions required to get to that level. But if you set your goals higher, you take the actions required to hit the higher goal. Okay. And I remember when I thought $50,000 was a lot of money to invest in coaching. I remember when I thought $2,000 a month was a lot to invest in a video editor. I remember when I thought, paying $30,000 for a tax plan was a crazy amount of money. And my income was here. But when I decided to go, wait a minute, that's 50 grand isn't that much money. 2 grand a month isn't that much money. Why am I sweating that? $30,000 isn't that money. Guess what happened? I invested $50,000 into the world-class speaking coaches. And from that investment, I was able to make multiple millions from speeches. I invested $30,000 into a tax plan by a high-level CPA, and I was able to save over $400,000 in taxes just that year. I invested the $2,000 a month into a video editor, and the reels and the videos that he produced ended up making us $200,000 in sales every month. So I was able to make the bigger money by letting go of the small money. Because when you build that amount up in your head to be a mountain, then the stepping stones you need to take to get up that mountain, you make those big. And then you can't even you can't even climb up one step. You're never gonna get to the top of the mountain. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. 50 grand is not a lot of money. 20 grand is not a lot of money. 2 grand a month is not a lot of money. And it's not a lot of money because you don't wanna make, you wanna make 2 million. That's what you wanna make. If you wanna make 2 million, then 20 grand is nothing. You know, a friend of mine, I'll tell you this, a friend of mine, he describes this very well, this concept very well, and he uses an analogy about how they catch monkeys in Africa. Have you ever heard how professional monkey catchers catch monkeys?
No, never.
Dude, it's the craziest, most simple thing. They dig a hole in the ground. They put a banana in the hole. Then they put a cone on top of the hole so that if you reach into the cone to get the banana, you can't get the banana out because it hits the cone and you can't get it out, right? So what happens is they just go and sit in a lawn chair and wait. The monkeys go up to the hole. They reach in to the cone and grab the banana. They try to get the banana out, but they can't. Now, the monkey catcher simply gets up out of his chair, casually walks over to the monkey and picks up the monkey and catch it. And the whole time, the monkey sees the monkey catcher coming, but they want that banana, so they keep tugging and they can't get it out. And the whole time, the monkey could have just let go of the banana and ran off. But the monkey didn't want to let go of the small thing, the single banana, to gain the big thing, his freedom.
Okay.
And we do that all the time. We won't let go of the small thing to get the big thing. But the thing is, you don't want to think like a monkey. You don't. No. We're human beings. We can't behave like monkeys. And in this analogy, the millionaires are the humans and the monkeys are the 99%. Rich people will always let go of the small thing to gain the big thing. Don't be the monkey. Don't be the monkey.
I was going to ask you a question, but I don't need to ask you the question because that answer has answered my question. Just around that, those, how we can transport ourselves from small time thinking to big time thinking. That is I haven't heard that before. Yeah, and it crystallizes the answer. And for anybody watching this, that's pretty inspirational. What I want to ask you 2 questions. I want to ask you about product market fit. I have lots of conversations with people that have, they've potentially got businesses now. They put blood, sweat, and tears into their businesses, but they're not delivering. Product market fit potentially is an issue. So I was keen to get your thoughts around that, how people who are putting blood, sweat, and tears into whatever their business is, how they can improve product market fit.
Yeah, so what is product market fit? And I like to make things simple, not academic. So product market fit is basically where a market really wants your product, okay? Your product solves a problem that causes a major pain point in the market's life. So and this is how you become a millionaire. You find people that have a problem, that are willing to pay to eliminate that problem, and then you sell them the solution. That is it. Where we go wrong is we try to sell what we want, what we're interested in, what we're passionate about, rather than what the market wants, okay? And then we complain when the market doesn't want it. It would be like if you went to Aruba and tried to sell sweaters because you just like sweaters, and nobody wants a sweater in Aruba because it's 98 freaking degrees. Then you go, oh, you guys suck. You don't care about sweaters. Yeah, of course they don't care about sweaters. They live in Aruba. Stop selling sweaters. But I love sweaters. I'm so passionate about sweaters. Great, wonderful. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Reality is reality. Life is life. People in Aruba don't buy sweaters. Get over it. Sell something else. The end, right? So that's like the real harsh, direct advice I have to give you. But to give you more systemized advice, if you're just getting started and you want a way to sort of visualize this, I'll tell you two things. The first, I call it skills, problems, people, okay? All you have to do is you can follow along at home and do this. Take a piece of paper and write 3 columns: skills, problems, people. Think of all the skills that you have and write them down. Okay? Just write down all the skills you have, big or small. I know how to manage my books. I know how to lose weight. I know how to do this. I know how to do that, right? Then write down all the problems that skill could solve. So a problem could be, let's say you know how to lose weight. A problem could be, losing the baby weight after you have a baby. Or the problem could be, I can't lose weight because I travel too much. Or a problem could be, I'm addicted to sugar and therefore I can't lose weight. Like there's probably 10, 15, 20, 30 problems that you can solve per skill. Let's say you know how to use QuickBooks. The problem, I pay too much in taxes. I pay too much in expenses. I don't know where my expenses are. I have problems managing money in my business. I can't budget properly. I make money, but I'm overspending. Again, problems. Then, once you have this big list of problems, which should be a lot bigger than the list of skills, then you move to people and you say, okay, who in the world has these problems? And then you should get an even bigger list, because look, there's multiple people that might need to lose weight after they have a baby. New moms, that's one of them, right? Or maybe career women. Or maybe, heck, you could even get so specific as models. Oh, I'm a model. I make money from, looking good, but I had a baby. You just write down all of the people that have these problems that you have the skill to solve. And then you say, okay, of all of these people, who has the most ability to pay? Who is the most capable of paying, and who would stand to gain the most impact in their life if I solve their problem? Who am I taking the most pain away from their life when I solve their problem? And you make a list and you order the list from top to bottom, from the most painful, the most capable to pay, to the least, okay? And then you just look at the top 3, the top 5, whatever, and you go, okay, which one of these people am I the most passionate to serve, that I would like to serve? And then you say, okay, well, that's who I'm gonna serve. This is the problem I'm gonna help them solve, and I'm gonna use this skill to do it. Boom, there's your business. And because you've designed it properly from the beginning, you don't even have to think about product market fit, because the way you just designed it is you can't do it this way and not have a product market fit. That's the literal entire crux of this exercise, okay? And so if you do this, you will come up with an amazing product market fit idea every single time. And here's the beautiful part. If you, let's say, oh, I don't have any skills. Okay, fine. Pick a skill that you're interested in and learn it, and then do the process again. Now, here's the other thing. This is the caveat to this. This is where most people really get it wrong. All right, let's say and this is people who have too many skills, who know too much. Because you know those people, right? Oh, I know how to do this, I know how to do that. And they get confused with their business. Have you ever heard, you've seen this happen
Yeah,
to people?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so watch this. I'll solve this for you right now. So I want you to imagine for a moment, do you cook? Do you cook?
I'm not the best cook.
That's fine.
I'm a struggling cook.
You're a struggling cook. Okay, so I want you to imagine for a moment that you are going to cook a meal, all right? And I'm gonna use the blue here because I think my black is running out. But let's imagine for a moment that this is a bowl, okay? Now in this bowl, you're gonna cook a meal, some sort of meal. And up here is your kitchen cupboard, your cabinets, right? Here's your cabinets, all right? Here is all the ingredients. Now, would you go into your kitchen and would you take out every ingredient? Would you take out chocolate, peanuts, spaghetti sauce, salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, meat, oranges, all of this stuff in here and dump them in the bowl and mix it up? Would you do that?
I hope not. No, I wouldn't.
But why
wouldn't.
wouldn't you do? Why wouldn't you do that?
Because it would be a mess. It probably wouldn't be edible.
It would taste
It
like
would it would taste like, yeah, awful.
yeah, and no one would want it. Would anybody
Nobody
want
wants
it?
it.
Nobody would want it.
Nobody. People probably think I've gone mad.
No, of course nobody would want. Why would?
Yeah,
They're not
nobody
going to
wants
want
it.
it. Period. They're not
Yeah.
going to want it. Okay, so here's what happens to an entrepreneur. The cupboards are their life. The ingredients inside the cupboards are all the things they've learned and the skills they've acquired. For some crazy reason, most entrepreneurs try to dump everything in the bowl, and it tastes like crap and no one wants it. If you want to make spaghetti, you get the noodles, you
Yeah.
get the meat, and you get the sauce. That's all you, maybe some salt. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. You don't grab the chocolate, you don't grab the oranges, you just grab that and you put it in the bowl and you make the friggin' spaghetti. And now, let me ask you, do people buy spaghetti?
People do buy spaghetti.
Of course they buy spaghetti,
Yeah.
right? So you have to have the discipline to say, I'm gonna create this meal, which means that even though I have all these ingredients at my disposal, I'm only gonna choose the ones I need, put them in the bowl, and make the meal that people will buy. But you have to have the discipline because you want to take everything you have and just dump it in the bowl because that's your life and that's your passion and these are the things you care about and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? The only part is there's 7 billion people on this planet, and there's out of all 7 billion people, there's only one that gives 2 friggin' craps about the bowl full of all the ingredients, and that's you. That's a very small market. The rest of the people, they want spaghetti. And spaghetti is meat, noodles, and friggin' sauce. So you have to have the discipline to take only a portion of what you know and what you can do, put it in a bowl, and that is how you get product market fit. It comes back to discipline.
Yeah. And I think as you're talking, I'm thinking this applies not just to entrepreneurs, but to businesses as well, because I've definitely worked in businesses where there's so many different ideas floating about in terms of our product, in terms of our service, and you end up going nowhere because we're trying to put too much ingredients. And to your point at the start, invariably our own bias goes into it. So we think that we've come up with this wonderful idea. You know, literally, I've seen this crash and burn. I've never had an explanation even like yours. We're able to kind of really, in a quite a fun, logical way, look at skills, problems, people. Perfect.
Yeah.
So
that's only because I've been helping hundreds and hundreds of companies grow for 10 years, and I've just kind of looked back at it and gone, wait a minute, it's just your skills, the problems your skills solve, and the people who are the most capable to pay that have those problems. That's it. It's simple. Like, success is not complicated, okay? Success is not, it is simple. When you believe it, when you complicate it, that's when you don't have it.
Yeah, and I think people complicate it very well. They just do. There's meetings going on now around the world where the people, why aren't people buying our product? We did all this research, we did everything, and people aren't buying our product. So people, and it's caught, there's emails going around, there's meetings being scheduled, there's meetings going on, whether it be an entrepreneur or whether it be a business.
Yeah.
So
You want a really simple way to skip the meetings and fix your company? Do a launch, bring people to a sales page, bring people to a webinar, bring people to an event, bring people to whatever it is that you do to try to get them to buy your thing. And then you're going to have people that buy it, and then you're going to have people that don't. Take an email the people that don't and say, hey, I noticed that you went through this sales process, or you saw this presentation and you didn't buy. This is your chance to give me a piece of your mind. Can you fill out this short survey and tell us what you think? Then you make a Google form and you ask some questions like, hey, why did you, what was the reason you didn't buy? What unicorn thing could we have added that would have made it a no-brainer, right? Questions like this. And then you send it out, you get the answers, you look at the answers, and you go, oh, that's what people want. That's what people are thinking. Let me modify my marketing and product to fit that. And then you do it again, and boom, you make money. Almost every product that we have released, every company that we have worked on, or every service that we have, so whatever it is, many of them have done hundreds of thousands of dollars. Many of them have done millions of dollars. And several of them have done over $10 million. And I can tell you that the ones that did over $10 million, we spent the most time surveying people that didn't buy, figuring out why they didn't buy, and then modifying our marketing and our product to fit that. That's where we've made the most money. And it's so simple. Why didn't you buy? Okay, cool. Fix it. Here you go. Done. Don't complicate it any more than that.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful advice. I think people do complicate the process. They make it extraordinarily complicated. And I think it becomes so complicated that everybody becomes confused by the process and they lose enthusiasm for the process. So I really thank you for your explanation there. So get clients. Is this really how you're helping clients, entrepreneurs, businesses really understand how they can go through that really challenging scenario where they have a business but they're struggling to get the clients?
So yeah, so getclients.com is the company that I've owned for many years, and we've released a variety of products, educational products, coaching programs, events, books. We just actually released, this one's really cool. It's called Big Fat Hooks. Have you seen this one?
No, that's a new one.
Yeah, so what we did, this is interesting. We took, we found out what are the top converting sales videos, sales pages, and webinars of all time. And we also went to like ClickBank, because that's where like the best copywriters are. I don't know if you know what ClickBank is, but we found, we looked for like the top converting sales letters, sales videos, video sales letters, and we just made this collection of them. And then we transcribed them. And then we studied them and we pulled out 297 of the best hooks, the best sales hooks from all of those videos, and we compiled them into one book. And then in each page of the book, we put the name, we made a name, we called it something. We made a name for the hook. We gave the original hook from the original high-performing sales video, a short explanation of why it's a hook, and then 2 examples of how you could use the same angle for like different offers. And so there's actually not 300 hooks in here, there's more like 900. And so all this book is just a huge selection of all these hooks. And we sell this book for, I think it's $17, $14, something like that. It's instant download. And so this is like some of the products that we put out, stuff to help you grow your business, things like that. And then we also, for beginners, we have a training. Like, let's say you don't have a business. Let's say you're not looking to get more clients. You're just trying to get started. We have a training that shows you how to create an AI marketing agency. And I told you about this before. Basically, and this is my philosophy on this, right? When you start a marketing agency, what most people do is they read a book or they take a course, and then they try to sell marketing services that they don't yet know how to do right away. And they struggle because they don't really know what they're doing. They don't know like how to actually write good copy and create good marketing. And so they do a bad job, they get discouraged, and the business goes nowhere, and they get bad results for their clients. Or they do it properly and they wait they do it properly, and they'll take 6 to 12 months to really learn marketing, and then they'll sell to clients and they'll make a bunch of money. But then you got to wait 6 to 12 months. What we did was we learned how to leverage AI to begin selling immediately to clients, get them results, and to allow you to do a good job from the beginning. Because I promise you that if you know what you're doing and if you have the right AI tools, you can produce better marketing than somebody who's been studying it for only a year. And in fact, even pros, you can do a better job than. And my hope is that when you make some money from this, maybe $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, you get really interested in it, and then you learn real marketing, and then you can do really cool stuff. Like last month, I got paid $100,000 for one piece of sales copy. $100,000 for just one.
That's insane.
One piece of the most I've ever got paid is $200,000, and I'm still getting paid on it because I not only charged a fee to write it, I charge a percentage of sales. So I get paid every month, and we're at like just over 200,000 now from one piece of marketing that I wrote. And so I have this training, and it allows you to get started, to get your foot in the door, to start tomorrow if you want, charging $500 a month, $1,000 a month to clients, and using this AI software that we talk about to do it. And I can give you, I'll give you a link to that training. It's free. And then if you want to check out the Hooks book, I'll give you a link to that. Well, and I'll send you one too. I'll send you this book. You'll love it. It's not a big sales pitch or anything like that. It's literally just the hooks. So I'll send you a free copy of this.
That's amazing.
Book
that's amazing
for you. And then
thank you. No.
Yeah. So your audience will have to give me the $14 or $17.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you think about it, $14, $17. That's nothing compared to what they're going to make. And just in terms of so when you start talking about the book, I started thinking about every conceivable entrepreneur out there, every conceivable challenge or piece or idea that that you're struggling with, that you just don't know how to actually develop and actually use the hook. That book is going to have it. It's going to give you the idea. Yeah. It's actually going to stop the those moments where we just incapacitated because we just can't think.
And I'll just real quick share with your audience one thing about hooks. So the thing is that most people think that a hook is the thing you first say to get people interested. Because in a sales video, in a sales letter, in any sort of sales presentation, you have a beginning and you have an end. And the beginning is the start and the end is where they give you money, right? We can agree on that.
Yeah.
So what happens is that people think that in order to have a successful sales video, you need to put, let's just say that the red line is a hook. So the red line is a hook, right? So in the beginning of the sales presentation, you have to have a hook that gets them interested, right? They get to, oh, I gotta watch. And then you watch the rest. That's not how it works. How it works is you hook them, and then you say a bunch of stuff, and then you need to rehook them. And then you say a bunch of stuff, and then you need to rehook them, and rehook them, and rehook them, and rehook them, and rehook them. The secret to one of the secrets anyway, to a high converting sales presentation or sales video or sales letter is that you keep attention. Because if you keep attention throughout the whole thing, they actually listen to what you have to say. And if they listen to what you have to say, they have a much higher percentage chance that they're going to buy what you want them to buy after they hear what you have to say. And so in order to do that, you can't just hook them at the beginning. You have to keep re-hooking them throughout the entire video. You just pop, 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 pop. And now that's the key. And that's why what I do is, and look, I developed this book. I take this book with me when I go places, because when I'm writing copy, I just flip it open and I go, okay, right here. I need to re-hook them there because I need to make sure they stay here. Okay. Okay. Oh, here's one, simplified solutions. I get clients to come to me instead of me going to them. Ooh, wait a minute, that sounds good. How does he do that? I'll keep listening. And then another one might be, it's actually an automated machine that generates cash every month. Wait a minute, he made this automated, it generates cash? This isn't just money. There's health examples in here. There's personal development examples in here.
And that's what I was thinking when you were talking. So for whatever industry we're in, this book is going to cover it.
Yeah. So here's the insider revelation hook. This is, I'll just teach you this one real quick because I find this one, I really like this one. So it's called Insider Revelation. And here's the original hook from the original sales video. It's, I am leaving money on the table by showing you this. And the other gurus out there are making loads of money by teaching the opposite of what I teach. I like that one. And it's a hook because it suggests exclusive counterintuitive information. And anytime you teach something counterintuitive, people are interested. And so some examples of this, some simple examples of different types of offers are the weight loss secret the diet industry doesn't want you to know. Or why most financial advisors are wrong. Here's the truth about building wealth. You're like, okay, well, wait a minute. You know, if I tell you, like, listen, most financial advisors are going to tell you one very simple thing to create wealth. And they all tell you the same thing. Why? Because they all stand to gain money when they tell you this thing. Well, I am going to sacrifice some money to tell you that you actually need to do the opposite of this. So I'm going to make less money by telling you something that's going to make you more money. So now you're like, well, what the heck is he going to say? And then you keep listening. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and there's 300 of these, 297.
Yeah.
So,
and what I was thinking as well, it's even a wonderful book for a brainstormer as well. If you want a team, so you're on a team, you come in on a Monday morning, or it could be any day of the week or any time of the week. There's a new product you're looking to bring to market. You don't know what the hook should be. You can actually go through the book and actually brainstorm with a team and use the book as your reference point.
Yeah.
I've actually got to go in a second. So what I want to do, I could talk to you literally all day. I can listen to you all day. Fortunately, I've got your content, which I've been going through and I will be going through, and I'm a subscriber to you as well.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
On all your platforms. Hopefully we can do this again, because I just think that your value. So this has been value. So thank you for that.
Yeah. What's crazy is when you give a lot of value, people don't mind that here and there you pitch. They don't mind.
Well, it's value. It's the value that you want the pitch, because when you know there's value, you want the pitch. When's the pitch coming? I want this.
Yeah.
That's what we don't always get that. And if you don't get the value, then you don't want the pitch.
Right.
I think there's a difference.
Exactly.
And so I'm going to get all the links. I'm going to get the link to the course. I'm going to get the link to the book. I'm going to get the link to your website. I'm going to put those on the show notes. I'll speak to your team. Anything additionally we need, we'll get. What I'm keen to do, or there's a recurring question, which is, if you could invite 3 inspirational people for dinner, who might you invite?
So I've thought about this question, and here is who I would invite. And you have to understand that I am fascinated by the ability to say something and have someone listen to what you say and then act or behave or take an action according to how you want them to take it. So here is who I would invite. I would invite Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Moses to dinner, because all 3 of these prophets and these people said, they lived at a time where they said something that spawned 3 religions. okay? And these are the top 3 religions in the world. And imagine somebody says something, they die, and thousands of years later, millions, actually for billions of people live their life according to how that person told them to live life. Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. So that, I would invite those 3 people to dinner, and I would just listen, and I would just try to understand how they thought about speaking and communicating, because there was no internet, there was no TV, there was like a rock that they sat on, and they spawned the 3 most popular religions in history. Just think, like, really think about that for a second. Like, think about how powerful they were, how much they were able to master words, that the words they said sitting on a rock thousands of years ago turned into billions of people following what they said thousands of years later. You can't really get any more effective than that when it comes to communication.
And it still matters today. Dan, thank you so much. It's been a real joy to meet you, a real pleasure to listen, to learn, to really be prodded in terms of these are things we can do. Lots of eye openers there. So I'm sure people, have got value. And I'm hoping that people are actually inspired to do something today, whether it's to get the book, whether it's to speak to their team, whether it's to be enthused about something that may be an idea, or their businesses may be nosediving a bit. This definitely should be the shot in the arm that will give them the inspiration to actually kick on and actually become a successful entrepreneur. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And it was a joy coming on.
The joy, and hopefully we can do this again. So thank you, everybody, for tuning into this episode of My Perfect Failure. We're always keen to hear about what you like and equally what you don't like. So you can find me at paul@myperfectfailure.com, or you can find me via the feedback page on the website. So take care for now. Bye.
Thanks for listening to My Perfect Failure podcast. Be sure to visit www.myperfectfailure.com to join the conversation. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google Play. Look out for our next episode.